G'day guys, ZiggyD here. Blizzcon Day 1 is over and it was a lot of fun. The things I got most hyped for were, of course, Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls, but also Heroes of the Storm was pretty exciting, and I'll probably talk about that more in the future. But in this video, I want to talk about the information that was released and talked about today across the various Diablo 3 panels, but mostly across the the first look at gameplay and adventure mode. So in this video, I'll give you guys a recap of what was talked about, and also some of my first impressions and analysis. I think most of the information, the really big stuff, we're going to be getting tomorrow at day 2. There's going to be some interesting panels there, and I think we'll be learning most of the new stuff we don't know yet then. But we still learned a few interesting things today about adventure mode, bounties, the rifts, formerly known as loot runs, and we also got a pretty cool look at the new monsters and new design of Pandemonium, the Act 5 in Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. Pretty interesting stuff. So let's jump straight into it, and hopefully you guys enjoy the various bits of background footage I have for you guys. So, first up, adventure mode was the big topic talked about today. Basically, the slogan for adventure mode is go anywhere, slay anything. The core of this is that you don't need to go through the campaign 4 times anymore. You can play the end game, or you can level up your character through this adventure mode sandbox format, and that's really exciting. It's something people have been requesting for a long time. People have been requesting, why don't we have access to all of the waypoints like in Diablo 2, and that's what they're bringing forward in this new adventure mode. But it's a lot more than just unlocking all of the waypoints, and there's a lot of other stuff that's going into adventure mode. To help people through this sandbox format, to give them some sense of direction and something to do. Of course, you can pretty much just go anywhere you want and slay anything you want to slay, but there's also some things there to help provide you with some objectives and things to do, and ways of getting more XP, gold, and loot. The main things we're talking about here are bounties and rifts. These allow you to experience more of the game's content in a more free-form fashion, with still some sense of direction. This is pretty exciting. A while back I made some videos talking about one of the major issues I have with Diablo 3, and it's that there's so much awesome stuff in the game that we just never get to see. You kill a lot of these bosses once, or you kill them once in each difficulty, but then there's no reason to go back and fight them. There's no reason to go back and see earlier game end dungeons and things like that. There's no reason to go play the various events, and the new bounties mode especially lets you have a reason to actually go see these pieces of content, actually experience this cool content, and you're doing something different and new each day and getting a chance to experience all this stuff. And Rifts also is adding a ton of randomization to the game, allowing you to experience all of this assets that's in the game, but in a more randomized fashion. That's pretty exciting. So let's go on to bounties. These provide direction in the sandbox adventure mode by telling you, you can go anywhere you want, but maybe if you go to this zone, there's something cool you can do here and get rewarded for it. And that's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool addition. So these bounties can include things like killing a boss, they can be completing an event, they can be killing a unique mob, which they actually showed Mira Eamon, the blacksmith's wife, appearing outside of her initial dungeon. So these can be in randomized locations. You can also be clearing a dungeon, and these all award you with XP, gold, special legendaries that we kind of got some hints at. They seem to do interesting things, like I saw one that lets you, when you equip it, it can kind of take the place of a set item. So you equip this other legendary, and maybe you only have 3 out of 4 of a particular set, and it kind of acts as a wildcard item in that set and allows you to complete the set bonus, which is pretty interesting. So there's some interesting legendaries coming with this as the rewards. And then finally, the final reward you get for doing these is the Rift Keystones, which allows you to unlock the new Rift game mode. So what are Rifts? These were formerly known as loot runs, and were said to be the main way that you're going to be acquiring tons and tons of cool loot and things like that. Now these are random dungeons, and they're unlocked with these Rift Keystones. So you go and unlock this portal, takes you to a completely random word, and you're going to hear the word random. You're going to hear this word random quite a lot in this video. These dungeons have a randomized amount of levels. They're 1 to 10 levels, they've said so far, and they feature random mobs, random mob density, so some will be more full than others, some will be jam-packed full of stuff, some might be a little bit more sparsely populated. They're going to have completely random layouts, and even random weather effects. Yes, random is the word of the day. Each of these also has a random boss, which apparently has random abilities as well. Yeah. And it spawns randomly in these zones. This is actually a pretty interesting thing, I think, because instead of putting the boss away in this like boss room, standing off by itself and having it be this like boss raid encounter sort of thing, the bosses actually just spawn randomly in a hallway. They could be alongside 2 packs of elites if you get unlucky. You're gonna have to deal with the boss alongside a bunch of like elites or rare mobs or something like that. So that's pretty cool. It's gonna add an extra layer of challenge and yes, you guessed it, an extra layer of randomization. Pretty funny stuff. Now there's also unique buffs in these rifts that you can take advantage of for yourself. One that was shown off in a video was this AoE lightning that one-shots mobs as you walk through them. So there's like, I imagine, a short duration buffs that you can grab and use at specific points and things like that. They also talked about ones like invulnerability and other sort of buffs like that. Now, in this panel, they also showed off some of the new monsters. Some of them were just like, showing off new monster models and stuff, and some of the stuff that I don't usually get too excited about, that sort of thing. But there were a few things I got really excited about in this particular section of the panel. Firstly, they're improving the way the monsters act, making them more aggressive, making them more interesting to fight. The first one was archers that backpedal, so instead of turning their back to you and walking away, they now fire at you while backpedaling, so they kind of kite you like that, which is pretty interesting, I think. There's also summoners that instead of just summoning their mobs and kind of being all passive, they actually summon their mobs and then throw the mobs at you to be extra aggressive, and that's pretty cool. There's also enemies that attack you from towers, and you can smash the towers down and have them like get killed by their own traps and things in the towers. That was pretty rad. And there's even like giant bulldogs that they can eat you, and then if they happen to kill you, they even they mark your corpse. Yeah. That'd be pretty embarrassing in hardcore. But we also got a first look at Pandemonium, the new zone in Act 5, and that was pretty exciting. Pretty cool looking area. It's kind of like this giant ruined battlefield full of old cities and old dungeons and things like that. And you fight amongst these old broken down titans from aeons past, and it seems like a pretty cool zone. So we got a good overview of that and got even to see some gameplay in that zone. And these have... they're also adding in completely randomized, yeah, there's that word again, exterior areas. So at the moment what we have is, in a lot of the earlier acts, is we have like a zone that has kind of the same outline every time, and the only randomization is inside that. Like dungeons might spawn in a few locations, and the inside areas kind of might change around a little bit, but it's not... You can usually know where you're going, but these are completely randomized. The entry points, the exit points, all of the dungeons on the inside, and all of the complete layout of it is very organic and seems to be much more different. They showed a few examples of mini-maps and how different they were, which is pretty exciting. It's going to make the game much more interesting and dynamic to play. We've also got, more traps coming in these zones and different interesting events. They even showed this thing off that's kind of like a moment captured in time of a previous battle, and it'd be interesting to see how we can interact with things like that. Now, that was kind of the main things that they were really focusing on. Mostly the adventure mode was the stuff I found really interesting, and the bounties and rifts and how they play out. And I'm very happy about all of this stuff. The adventure mode, being able to go anywhere and do all these different bounties and quests, means that every day we're going to jump on, we're going to be doing something different. We're going to be going to different places. It's going to be so much more fun to level that way than doing the campaign. The campaign's kind of fun, but it's the sort of thing I only want to ever do once. So having an alternative way to level up and an alternative way to play the endgame as well, being able to jump around all of the acts, is very exciting. There were some other interesting things I noticed, just 2 extra things. 4 passives on your characters has been confirmed. I've seen quite a few screenshots of that now from people at the actual event. So that's really good. I'm really excited about that, especially for the Demon Hunter. I feel like she's going to become a much more dynamic class with 4 passives, but I'm sure that's going to apply to most of them as well. Another thing was, during the Q&A we found out that they haven't really decided on a new trading system. I was kind of expecting that they were going to announce some form of new trading system as an alternative to the auction house tomorrow. I was expecting something like a browser-based system similar to Path of Exile, where you can maybe link your stash and have other people browse it, but you still have to do your trading in-game. However, based on their responses, it seems like they really haven't thought of anything to do there yet, or if they have, they're not ready to talk about it. So I don't expect we'll be seeing any announcements regarding that. So trading will just be done through trade chat, but I kind of hope they figure out some alternative system that we can use as well. But they mostly focused on how you'll be able to find most stuff in game, which I'm sure lots of people will be happy to hear anyway with the new smart loot system. But tomorrow is going to be the day to look forward to. They're going to be talking about a lot of the new game system, including smart loot and all of that stuff that's going to make things, you're really going to make or break the expansion pack. But so far, looking very good, very excited, and getting pretty hype. Hopefully you guys are too, and hopefully you guys enjoy my recaps, and look forward to my recap for tomorrow. That's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.